Hello, building on my previous day presentation, today I, Harshishna, will turn our attention to a new SDG focused theme, transforming our world achieving the Sustainable Development Goal. In September 2015, global leaders unanimously adopted the 230 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goal, a transformative blueprint for collective global action. At the heart of this agenda lie the 17 Sustainable Development Goal, an ambitious and integrated framework aimed at eradicating poverty, reducing inequality, addressing the climate change, and safeguarding the planetary system while advancing a sustainable and dignified future for all. These goals embodied a shared global vision explicitly recognizing the deep interdependence of social equity, economic and prosperity, environmental integrity. Yet, the realization of the SDG by 2030 is fraught with formidable challenges, persisting globe crisis, widening the financial gap, and fragmented policy approaches continue to embed progress. At the same time, the agenda illuminates pathway of success, demonstrating how coherent strategies, innovative financing mechanism, and technological advancement, and the robust multi-stakeholder partnership can accelerate implementation. Government, civil societies, the private sector, and the community each play a critical and complementary role in the collective endeavor. The road to 2030 demands sustained political will, renewed commitment, and accelerated inclusive action. By strengthening the synergies among the SDGs and the placing people and planet at the center of the development efforts, we can now move towards a world that is more equitable, resilient, and sustainable. The true transformative power of the SDGs lies in their universality and in their call for a shared responsibility, urging us all to contribute to building a better future for present and future generation. Let us now explore this theme in a greater depth. Now we shall discuss slide 2, the 17 Sustainable Development Goal, and overview. It's mere an introduction because previously we have taken in depth. The 17 Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015 serve as a universal call for action to end the poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy the peace and prosperity by 2030. These goals are not merely a list but an integrated framework recognizing that the progress in one area often depends on the progress in the other. The SDG can be broadly categorized into four interconnected pillars: the people centered goals, prosperity driven goals, planet focused goals, and the peace and partnership. First, we take the people centered goal. The people centered goal, that is SDG 1 to 6, focus on eradicating poverty, that is SDG 1, and hunger, SDG 2, ensuring good health and well-being, SDG 3, providing a quality education, SDG 4, achieving gender equality, SDG 5, and securing access to the clean water and sanitation for all people regardless of their circumstances, SDG 6. These goals aims to address fundamental human need and the rights, ensuring that no one is left behind in the pursuit of the development. While the prosperity-driven SDG goals, that is from SDG 7 to 11, addresses the affordable clean energy, that is SDG 7, decent work and economic growth, that is SDG 8, and industry innovation and infrastructure is SDG 9, followed by the reduced inequality is SDG 10, and sustainable cities and communities, that is SDG 11. These objectives aims to create inclusive and sustainable economic growth while protecting the environmental, fostering the innovation, and building the resilient urban area. While the planet-focused goals, that is SDG 12 to 15, concentrate on responsible consumption and production, that is SDG 12, climate action, that is SDG 3, and protecting life below water, that is SDG 14, and on land is SDG 15. These goals underscore the critical importance of safeguarding our natural resources, combating the climate change, and promoting the sustainable ecosystem for our current and the future generation. And finally, peace and partnership goal, that is SDG 16 and 17, emphasizes the importance of peace, justice, and a strong institution, that is SDG 16, and the global partnership for the goal SDG 17. These are the foundational elements, recognizing that the sustainable development cannot be achieved without peaceful and inclusive society, effective governance, and robust international cooperation. The interconnectedness of these pillars highlights that achieving by 2030 agenda requires a comprehensive, collaborative, and integrated approach across all sectors and level of governance. Slide 3, understanding the interconnected nature of SDG. The Sustainable Development Goal (SDG) are fundamentally interconnected, forming a holistic framework where the progress in one dimension often reinforce and enable the progress in other. This interconnectedness is typically understood through three core dimensions, that is the social, economic, and environmental. The first, the social dimension, focuses on human development, aiming to address the poverty, inequality, education, and health to ensure no one is left behind. Key aspect includes reducing the extreme poverty by 50% by 2030, ensuring the universal access to education, and improving the healthcare outcome globally. For instance, the better health and education directly contribute to a more productive and workforce and reduce poverty. The next is related with the economic dimension, centers on sustainable economic growth, productive employment, and responsible resource utilization. This involves fostering sustainable industrial development, promoting inclusive economic growth models, and creating decent work opportunities. Economic prosperity, when managed sustainably, can provide the resource needed for social programs and environmental protection. And the next is related with the environmental dimension. Environmental dimension addresses the critical issues like climate change, biodiversity loss, and the natural resource management, all vital for a planetary well-being. This includes cutting carbon emission, protecting marine and the terrestrial ecosystem, and promoting the renewable energy adoption. A healthy environment provides the foundational resources and stability necessary for the both social and the well-being and economic activity. The interplay between these dimensions is crucial. For example, promoting the renewable energy, that is the environmental, create a green job, that is the economic, and improve the public health by reducing the pollution, that is the social. Similarly, investing in education, that is the social, can lead to innovation in sustainable technology, that is economic and environmental. Recognizing and leveraging these intricate links is essential for effective policy and achieving the transformative vision for 2030 agenda. Let us now see what the slide 4 says about the current progress and challenges. Some progress have been made toward the Sustainable Development Goal, that is SDG. The United Nations Secretary General 2023 SDG progress reports indicate that the world is falling behind the most target. Climate action in particularly shows that the most concerning trend with the 90% of its indicators off track. The COVID-19 pandemic has significantly reversed the decade of progress, especially in poverty reduction and education, pushing millions back into the extreme poverty and exacerbating learning crisis. Regional disparities are pronounced, with sub-Saharan African and South Asia facing the greatest challenge in SDG implementation. The compounding effect of ongoing conflicts, the escalating impact of climate change, and the persisting economic instability have created a significant headwinds globally. These crises divert resource, disrupt essential services, and undermine the development gain, making the path to achieving the 2030 agenda more arduous. To accelerate progress, a renewed global commitment is crucial. This involves scaling up investment in sustainable development, strengthening the international cooperation, and implementing the integrated policy that addresses the interconnected nature of the SDGs. Prioritizing the vulnerable population and regions, fostering the innovative solution, and ensuring robust data collection and monitoring are essential steps to get back on track and realize the transformative vision of the 2030 agenda for a more equitable and sustainable future. Slide 5. Funding gap and resource mobilization. The finance gap for achieving the Sustainable Development Goal remains one of the most significant barriers to their fully implementation. Globally, there is an estimated annual SDG investment gap of $2.5 trillion, highlighting a substantial shortfall in the funding required to meet all targets. Traditionally, source of development financing, particularly official development assistance (ODA), remains well below target. The current level of ODA stands at 0.33% of gross national income, that is GNI, significantly short of the long-standing 0.7 targets, covering only a fraction of the actual need. Climate finance is another critical area with considerably gap. While an estimated $379 billion in annual climate finance is mobilized, this falls far short of the $1 trillion needed to effectively address the climate change mitigations and adaptation efforts worldwide. Despite of these shortfalls, there is an immense potential for resource mobilization as the total global financial and assets amount to a staggering $156 trillion, a portion of which could be strategically redirected towards the SDG investment. Closing this funding gap necessitates a multiple-pronged approach. Innovative financing is a mechanism such as blended finance approach that combines public and private capital are essential. Increased private sector participation is a crucial, leveraging their investment capacity and expertise. Government must also improve domestic resources mobilization through more effective taxation system and by curbing illicit financial flow. Strengthening the international cooperation and fostering the partnership between the various stakeholders are vital to unlock and channel these resources towards achieving the ambitious 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goal. Slide 6. Case study SDG success stories. Despite the global challenges in achieving the Sustainable Development Goal, several countries offering inspiring case studies for significant progress, demonstrating that with the right policies and approaches, transformative change is possible. The first one is related with the Rwanda healthcare revolution. Rwanda stands out for its remarkable progress in healthcare, particularly through its community-based health insurance scheme, Mutuelle de Santé. This initiative has achieved more 90% coverage, dramatically reducing the maternal mortality by 78% and the child mortality by 65% since 2000. This universal health coverage approach has been instrumental in Rwanda making exceptional progress on SDG 3, that is good health and well-being. Next is Costa Rica. Costa Rica environmental leadership. It exemplifies environmental leadership having successful reverse deforestation. Its forest cover has increased from 26% in 1980 to over 59% today. A pioneering payment for ecosystem services, that is PES, program compensate landowner for the conservation, contributing significantly to SDG 13, that is the climate action, and SDG 15, life on land. This innovative approach demonstrates how economic incentives can drive environmental protection. The next is related with the Bangladesh. The Bangladesh climate adaptation is a country highly vulnerable to climate change, has developed an innovative adaptation strategy. These include floating school, climate-resistant agriculture, and early warning system. These initiatives have reduced cyclone-related deaths by over 100 folds while simultaneously advancing progress on SDG 1, that is no poverty, and SDG 2, zero hunger. This showcases resilience and the proactive measures in face of environmental threat. While summing up, these stories underscores that significant progress is achievable with a strong political commitment, policy coherence, and the community ownership and effective resource allocation targeted at the most vulnerable population. They provide a valuable lesson and inspiration for the global efforts towards the 2030 agenda. Well, slide 7, the role of government in SDG implementation. Governments serve as the primary architect and implement the Sustainable Development Goal agenda. Their multifaceted role is crucial for translating the global aspiration into tangible national and local progress. A fundamental aspect of their role is localization and planning, which involve translating global SDG targets into national and local contexts. This ensures that the strategies are relevant and adaptable to specific countries' conditions and priorities. Policy implementation is a key, requiring the government to enact and enforce the regulations and incentives that drives sustainable development across various sectors. This includes creating a supportive legal framework for renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and the social protection program. The other is related with the resource mobilization is another critical responsibility where the government allocates the budget and leverage the public-private partnership to the finance SDG initiative. This involves both domestic resource generation through effective taxation and attracting the international investment and aid. And finally, monitoring and accountability, or you can say the evaluation, are a paramount. Government must establish a robust tracking system and ensure transparent reporting on the SDG progress. Voluntary national review, that is VNR, have emerged as a key mechanism for countries to report on their SDG advancement, highlighting the both achievement and implementation challenges, while fostering shared learning and accountability among the nations. And the last one is related with the effective governance. Effective governance, therefore, requires integrating SDG into national development plans and budgeting process, ensuring policy coherence across the sectors and creating enabling the environment for a multiple stakeholder participation. Slide 8, private sector engagement and corporate sustainability. The private sector plays a crucial role in achieving the sustainable development goal through sustainable business practices, innovations, and investment. Companies of all sizes are increasingly recognizing that the SDG represents not only a responsibility but also a significant business opportunity, estimated at around $12 trillion annually by the Business Sustainable Development Commission. Private sector engagement typically follows four-stage process. The first is related with the alignment. The alignment is a mapping business operation and there is impact to a specific SDG helps company identify where they contribute more effectively. This involves understanding the both positive and negative externalities. The next is related with the integration. Integration embedding the sustainability into core business strategy and operation, ensuring that the SDG considerations are not an afterthought but are central to decision making. This can involve sustainable supply chain, resource efficiency, and the ethical labor practice. Next is related with the collaborations. Forming partnership with other business, government, and civil society organizations is vital to amplify the impact and addresses the systematic challenges that no single entity can solve alone. This collaboration can drive innovation and a shared solution. And the last one is related with the measurement. Tracking and reporting on SDG contribution using a standard matrix provides a transparency and accountability. Frameworks like the UN Global Compact with over 15,000 corporate participants and reporting standards such as GRI, Global Reporting Initiative, SASB, that is Sustainable Accounting and Standard Board, helps business align their strategies and communicate their progress effectively. Companies like Unilever, Patagonia, and Danone demonstrate how sustainable business model can deliver both profit and positive social and environmental impact. By actively engaging in this stage, the private sector can significantly contribute to a more sustainable, equitable world. Slide 9, the critical role of civil society organization. Civil society organization CSO forms a vital bridge between the high-level policy and the grassroots level implementation, playing a crucial role in achieving the sustainable development goals. They bring unique perspective and capabilities essential for uploading the leave no one behind principle at the heart of the SDGs. One key function of CSO is advocacy and awareness. They amplify marginalized voice and mobilize public support for sustainable development through campaigning, policy dialogue, and the public education initiative. CSOs hold the governments and the corporation accountable, influencing the policy decisions and raising awareness among millions of citizens globally. Secondly, the CSO are on the front line of implementation and service delivery. They provide essential service in areas such as health, education, humanitarian responses, often reaching the most vulnerable population who might be missed by a formal system due to their deep community connections. This direct engagement ensures that the development efforts are inclusive and effective. Finally, CSO plays a crucial role in monitoring and accountability, or even you can say evaluation. Through initiatives like the citizen-generated data and shadow reporting, civil society provides an independent verification of the official SDG progress claim. This watchdog function ensures transparency, helps identify the implementation gap, and holds stakeholders accountable for their commitment toward 2030 agenda. By fulfilling these diverse roles, CSOs are indispensable partners in driving the sustainable development and ensuring equitable realization. Slide 10. Technological innovation for sustainable development. Technology innovation serve as a powerful accelerator for sustainable development goals. Implementation offering a transformative solution across the various sectors. Digital technologies are revolutionary service delivery, bringing essential services to the previously unreached population. The digital connectivity is a foundational focus on expanding the internet access to bridge the digital divide. This enables access to telemedicine, e-learning, and mobile banking, as exemplified by the M-Pesa in Kenya, which has provided the financial services to over 25 million previously unbanked individuals. Bridging this gap is crucial as nearly 3 billion people remains offline, primarily in developing regions where the SDG challenges are greatest. The next is related with the data revolution. The data revolution leverages big data for evidence-based decision making. Enhanced data collection and analysis enable more precise targeting of the resource, better monitoring and environmental conditions, and increased transparency in supply chain. This data-driven approach helps identify the needs, track progress, and optimize the intervention for a greater impact. The other part is related with the frontier technologies that involves deploy advanced solutions like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and Internet of Things, that is IoT, for sustainable development. AI can optimize energy grid, predict climate predict pattern, and improve the agriculture yield. Blockchain can enhance the transparency in supply chain and ensure ethical sourcing, while IoT device can monitor environmental parameters and optimize the resource use, contributing to more efficient and sustainable system. These emerging technologies hold immense potential to accelerate the progress across all SDG by providing innovative tools for addressing the complex challenges. Slide 11. Slide 11 is related with the localization of the SDGs, cities, and communities. With the 55% of the world population living in urban areas projected to reach 68% by 2050, cities and the communities are critical arenas of the Sustainable Development Goal implementation. Local government often have a direct responsibility for many SDG related services including the water and sanitation, transportation and the land use planning. Localization, the SDG means adapting the global agenda to local context and the priorities fostering the sustainable urban development. The first is related with the participatory planning that is essential for effective localization. Cities like Malmö, Sweden have pioneered the inclusive approach to urban development, engaging the citizen in co-creating the sustainable neighborhood. Their participatory budgeting process allocate resource-based resident priorities, particularly in underserved area, ensuring that the development meets the local needs. The next is related with the sustainable mobility, the key component of urban sustainability. Copenhagen comprehensive cycling infrastructure serve as a global model with 62% of the residents cycling to work or school daily. This approach significantly reduces emission while improving public health and accessibility, directly contributing to SDG 3, that is good health and well-being, SDG 11, that is sustainable cities and communities, and SDG 13, that is the climate action. While the last is related with the urban resilience that focus on transforming cities to withstand and adapt to various shocks and stress. Medellin, Colombia, for example, transformed from one of the world's most dangerous cities to an urban innovation hub through integrated social urbanism. This involved combining the public transportation, green spaces, and the community facilities to revitalize the marginalized neighborhood and enhancing the overall urban resilience and contributing to multiple SDG. These examples highlights how local action driven by community engagement and innovative urban planning are fundamental to achieving the global SDG agenda. Slide 12. Building resilience, climate change and the SDGs. The climate change represents an additional threat to sustainable development goal achievement with the potential to reserve development gain and exacerbate inequality. The increasing severity of the extreme weather events directly threaten the SDG progresses, disproportionately affecting the vulnerable population and the climate-sensitive livelihood. The World Bank estimates that the climate change could push an additional 132 million people into extreme poverty by 2030. Building resilience against the climate change requires an integrated approach that addresses both adaptation and mitigation. Mitigation efforts focuses on reducing the greenhouse gas emission through transition to renewable energy and improving the energy efficiency. This is crucial for limiting the global warming and its most severe impact. Along mitigation, adaptation strategies are essential for building resilient infrastructure and agriculture system that can withstand the impact of a changing climate. This includes developing early warning system, climate resistance crop, and robust urban planning to protect communities and economies. A just transition is also paramount, ensuring that the climate policies create inclusive economic opportunities and do not leave any communities or workers behind during the shift to a low carbon economy. This involves retraining programs, social safety, net and equitability, access to new green jobs. While the Paris Agreement and the SDG framework must be implemented synergetically to leverage co-benefit. For example, renewable energy transition contribute to both climate goals and expanded energy access, that is SDG 7, while simultaneously create a new economic opportunities, that is SDG 8. By integrating these efforts, we can build up a more resilient and the sustainable future. SDG 13, SDG monitoring and data revolution. The Sustainable Development Goal SDG framework include 169 targets measured by 231 unique indicators representing an unprecedented commitment to data-driven development. Effective SDG monitoring relies heavily on the data revolution, integrating diverse source and advanced analytical approach to track the progress and identify the disparity. The data collection is expanding beyond traditional official statistics to include the Earth observation, citizen science, and private sector data. Innovative approaches like mobile survey are reaching previously uncounted population, providing a more comprehensive picture of the development. Analysis and disaggregation are crucial for understanding the pattern, predicting the trend, and revealing who is being left behind. The principle of data disaggregation by income, sex, age, race, ethnicity, migration status, disability, and geographic location ensure the visibility of marginalized groups aligned for the target intervention. Accessibility and use involves open data portal, visualizing the tools and the SDG tracking platform that makes information accessible to policymakers and citizens alike. These tools empower the evidence-based decision making and facilitate the public engagement with the sustainable development agenda. However, significant data gaps remain. On an average, countries have data for only about 57 SDGs indicator with a particularly severe gap in the environmental matrix. Strengthening the national statistical offices, embracing a non-traditional data source, and investing in data literacy are essential for creating robust monitoring system. The COVID-19 pandemic has further highlighted the critical importance of timely, reliable data for crisis response and recovery planning, underscoring the need for continued investment in the data revolution for sustainable development. Well, this is the last slide of this presentation, which is concerned more to the path forward accelerating the SDG implementation. With only 5 years remaining until 2030, accelerating sustainable development goal implementation is a critical inflection point. The United Nations Secretary General SDG stimulus proposal called for an additional $500 billion annually in long-term affordable financing for developing countries alongside of debt relief and systematic reforms to international finance architecture. Achieving this acceleration requires a multifaceted approach focusing on 4 key areas. The first one is related with the integrated policy approach that are essential to break down silos between the government ministries and the policy domain. This involves whole of government coordination mechanism and the policy coherence tools to address the interconnected nature of the SDGs effectively. While inclusive participation is vital, ensuring the meaningful engagement of marginalized groups in decision-making process. This means creating a mechanism for youth, women, indigenous people, and persons with a disability to shape SDG implementation, ensuring solutions are equitable and widely accepted. The next is related with the expanded partnership that are crucial for strengthening the collaboration across the public, private, and the civil society sectors through formalized multi-stakeholder platform. These partnerships must mobilize the financing, technology, and knowledge transfer to address the complex challenges collectively. Finally, system transformation goes beyond incremental changes, demanding a fundamental shift in economic, social, and governance system that currently perpetuate the unsustainable pattern. This requires a political courage, long-term thinking, and willingness to rethink existing structure to achieve truly sustainable development. Despite immense challenges, the SDG continue to provide an essential shared blueprint for peace and prosperity. By recommitting to the principle of universality, integration, and leaving no one behind, we can still realize the transformative vision of 2030 agenda, but not only through the dramatic exploration of action at all levels. So here we bring our session to a close, one that underscored the imperative adopting the sustainability for the transformation of our world with SDG that constitute a universal and integrated framework to eradicate poverty, reduce inequality, combat climate change, and protect the planetary system while ensuring the human dignity and the shared prosperity. Their core strength lies in recognizing the interdependence of the social equity, economic growth, and environmental sustainability. Now, looking ahead, we will continue this intellectual journey with an upcoming series to relate SDG with the corporate entity with various business framework titled as Actionable SDGs versus Supportive Outcome of the Corporate Intervention, which will explore the foundational principles shaping global sustainability across the corporate business framework. We encourage you to stay engaged with our platform for future sessions and to share this knowledge with the peer dedicated to advancing sustainability development. Wishing you continued success, enduring the inspiration and steadfast resilience in your pursuit of sustainable and prosperous future.